All right, good afternoon. It is exactly 32 minutes past 12. Yes, it is still your favorite show, the midday show right here on your number one talk radio station, Lagos Talks 91.3. It is time for parenting today. What does it take to be a parent? One thing I do know, it takes a lot of skill, effort, intentional efforts, not just efforts, and it is a never ending journey, one that requires as much knowledge as one can lay their hands on. Now, with that being said, there's always room for improvement. And of course, parenting today brings you closest to what perfection is as regards parenting. This show, of course, I have my co-host, the owner, the CEO of the Lagos Moms platform, a parenting platform that's formidable and always gives us more insight and knowledge as regards parenting. However, today I'm not going to be joined by Yetty herself, but I have an amazing guest who's going to be joining me on this show. Now, with me, my co-host, who's joining virtually, is Toby Bello, who happens to be a social worker, one that's passionate about the well-being of everyone, and not just everyone, more so the youth, the younger ones, right? Now, today's topic is amazing, but before I go on to talk more, or rather tell you about the topic, hi, Toby Bello. Hi, I want to welcome you to the show. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm well, thank you.
Good afternoon.
And you? How are you?
I'm fine. You sound so calm. I like that. It's kind of soothing. Okay. How's your day going?
It's going well, quite restful.
Oh, that's good to know. All right, so today's topic is one that's interesting. When I saw it, I'm like, I like that we're talking about this because it is known to be more common than not right now, especially in Nigeria. I'm talking about our present society. Now, today's topic is addressing substance abuse in adolescents, and I don't think we stressed that enough. Recently, there has been more media coverage and awareness as regards substance abuse, but I want to know what addressing it is because everyone's talking about it, but does it just end at talking? How can we actually address substance abuse in adolescents? If you will kindly take us through this.
Okay, I believe this is a parent show. Once again, Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And you really took it off my mouth to say that talking about it is not enough. Talking about it is not enough. Addressing it takes it a step further. So for parents, like you rightly introduced, I'm a social worker and I happen to work with an NGO here in Lagos that works on preventing substance use. So one of the many questions we get is, okay, so now that you've told us, yes, we know substance use is on the rise, what do we do? How do we help our children?
Okay.
First off, parents need to be educated. There's something called substance prevention or substance use prevention education. You need to get educated as parents. You need to get educated as caregivers. Now, this education, basically, you're going to be learning about the prevalence. You're going to be learning about how to have this communication with the children, age-appropriate information, how to check out for the signs, and usually just wraps up with what to do. How do you get help? Who do you reach out to? Now, it's not as if you're going to go online and find a particular curriculum giving you all of these steps, but it's your duty as caregivers, as parents, as stakeholders, to get informed. Okay, so for parents, like they would always ask, so what do I do? First off, parents need to know that they play a crucial role in engaging their children in substance use prevention education. Okay. I'll take that again. Parents play a very crucial role in engaging their children in substance use prevention education. We shouldn't leave it to the government. We shouldn't leave it to the schools. We shouldn't leave it to the religious houses, even if they're not even doing so much about it. As parents, these children are ours. As stakeholders, as guardians, the children are ours. And every child you see out there misusing substance comes from a family. True. So parents cannot leave this out there for others, So they have a duty to protect the children. So let me just quickly mention a few points. How do you address it as a parent listening? You don't want your children to fall into the statistics of those using substances, or you're beginning to sense some things are coming up and you're wondering how to go about it. Communication, open communication. Okay, I want to believe that it must have been overemphasized on this platform, being a parenting platform, that you need to talk to your kids. Okay, and communication is not reprimanding or giving orders. It's creating an environment where open and non-judgmental communication is taking place. It's encouraged. Now, you could initiate the conversation, because whether we like it or not, these children are interacting with these things directly or indirectly. So, and for you to be able to do that, you should be aware yourself, okay? You're not just going to start a conversation and your child, the children could be more knowledgeable than you. That should challenge you to want to go learn more. So communication is really appropriate. It's really key, rather. Then age-appropriate discussion is very important. You don't want to be talking to your children about things they shouldn't be knowing now. So that's where communication comes in again. You want to find out what they know, and you want to be able to build up from there. Now, it's going to take you a lot of work, because you yourself might have to go do some research. But let me stop there, just in case you have something you want to say or a question to ask.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. Now, I was going to ask you, for parents, the average Nigerian parent, and it's no excuse, but I'm just trying to, bring this down to those who might not have as much time on their hands as they wish they do. Now, every parent wants, they wish they had all the time in the world to spend with their kids, but they have to go out there, cost of living, high standard inflation and whatnot. So the average parent is just trying to provide, and then of course pay attention to their child. For those who might not have enough time to, have noticed, the onset of this, but however, they've come to realize that, my child could be using substance. How can they balance this? Because on one hand, they have to, get to work, do what they have to do to ensure that things are running smoothly. And on the other hand, when you find out a child is indulging in substance abuse, you would want to make out time to ensure that they're not relapsing, especially if you cannot afford rehab for them. You want to make sure you're around them as much as possible. What would you say to such parents who's interested in doing that?
That's quite a tricky one. Yes, understanding the economic conditions. If a child has started using, okay, you could have someone use and not addicted. You could have those who use and they are not addicted. Yes, okay. That's why initially, first thing for that parent, you yourself need to get equipped. So you're quite busy, but you could learn.
Okay.
Because you don't want to start giving your children labels. You also want to differentiate. So because you cannot afford to go to rehab, you also have to get some soft skills to be able to help your child. So if you're so busy, because going to rehab is expensive.
True.
And I think that's one thing, if you start saying that, maybe some people will start looking away from using substance, because they don't understand the gravity. And it's just not just about money. Okay, so you started suspecting that child is using, you need to get equipped with knowledge. Because if you think your child is using, because I have to be careful, I can't mention names of substances on air. If you suspect your child is using a particular substance and you take the wrong approach and you're not well informed, that child can start using another substance that you're not aware.
And do a better job at hiding it. All right, thank you for that,
Exactly.
for highlighting that, Oluwatobiloba. Thank you so much. Now, there's a question I do want to ask. And for those who are listening, before I ask any question, pardon that I've been going on, I'm very interested in this. If you want to join the conversation, perhaps you are a parent or you're planning to be one, you might even be a guardian, an uncle, an aunt, you might be a grandparent, whatever role you play. If you are looking after a child and you care about their well-being, you should be a part of this show, because I feel like everyone's a parent at heart, whether biological or social or whatever form you are a parent. We all have a role to play because they are the future, and the future is here. So you have to make sure that, yes, they're living up to their best potential. With that being said, you can join us now. First, if you want to join via Twitter, yes, you can do so. Kindly use the hashtag parenting today, and our handle is at Lagos Talks 913. If you want to join via WhatsApp, here is the WhatsApp line. For WhatsApp, you can call, you can text, or even send a voice note. For WhatsApp, here is the number 0809 234 5913. I'll take it again, 0809 234 5913. And other numbers you can call on to join Oluwatobiloba and I here on right here on the show, 0809 222 0913, 0809 234 5913. There is the women only line for the mothers, the aunts, the grandmas, whatever role you play as a matriarch. You can call on this number, 0809 191 3913. Yes, just to ask you, yes, so I did mention that I want to ask a question. Do you believe that the absence of a parent who might be busy or perhaps, just lack of attention, whether it's unintentional or intentional on the part of the parent, lack of attention for your child could lead to substance abuse? Do you think that a parent who's very attentive is less likely to have a child who's, making use of illicit substance?
Okay, it could play a role. However, it's not the only big factor, because you could be paying so much attention to your child and you're not giving the right information or skills for that child. What do I mean? You're paying attention to your child. You could be an helicopter parent, and the attention you're paying is not even helping that child. That child will just be good at hiding. Okay?
All right.
So, yeah, you could be an helicopter parent, and what you're protecting or what you're even paying attention to are not the right things. That's why you need age-appropriate education, irrespective of what you're dealing with. You need to be well informed. Okay, so I don't know if I should share this, but I'll be careful with the words. Recently, I was on a radio program, and I was told of a story of a young girl, secondary school girl, who she's in a boarding house, and the boarding house has stated certain things are contraband, including some over-the-counter drugs. I don't want to mention it because it's really very common. Okay, so the girl got home, she was packing up for school and told her mom that, oh, mom, I like using this particular medication. It's supposed to be something like a supplement or something to boost your immunity. So the girl said she really likes using it. Honestly, if I mentioned the name of that over-the-counter drug, you'd be like, oh, there's no big deal in using that. So, however, it's a contraband. So the mother went ahead, purchased it for her, wrapped it properly, and sealed it to the bottom of her box. Now, the mother didn't take her to school because she had a work emergency. The father took her to school. Upon searching, obviously, body also search all your baggages. They found it there. They had to tear it up, and they saw it. And they're like, this is a contraband. The father was like, okay, yes, but this should not be a problem. Okay. Guess what? After so much interrogation with that girl, apparently they were abusing that particular over-the-counter drug in school. And they were not taking it orally. I'm being careful because one of the things in substance use education is you don't want to give out certain information so that others don't take a cue from there and start using. It was really appalling to hear that this particular seemingly harmless over-the-counter drug was being abused by young girls in the boarding house. So now the parents will definitely say, oh, they're protected. They're probably paying attention to her. She's conscious of her health, as she requested for this particular over-the-counter drug. But because they were not well informed, they probably didn't ask further to find out why she took a particular interest in this particular medication, which is over-the-counter and harmless. Okay, not knowing that our child was already abusing it with other students. So you could be, very protective. You could be watchful, but if you're not doing the right things, it could as well be nothing.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for that. Wow. Such a shocker. In boarding school, that's such a young, I don't know. Wow.
And they're girls.
Yeah. Also, it's just a single-sex school, by the way.
I didn't confirm that, but this was happening in the girls' hostel.
Oh, wow.
So I wouldn't know how they got, it was a radio program, so I couldn't get all the information.
All right, thank you for that. If you're planning on, I saw we had a call. Unfortunately, I couldn't take that because I wanted Ms. Tobiloba to finish what she had to say. Very interesting story there. If you want to find out how you can be a better parent, if you are a parent to teenagers, adolescents, or even youth, your child is never too old to be your child, if you get what I mean. So if you want to find out more, you may have noticed now, some parents get worried if they see their kids are spending more time with friends than they are at home, or they're always locked up in their room, or they just seem detached by personality. Now, I want to ask, what are the signs that a parent is to look out for if indeed they have suspicions and they don't want to seem like they're paranoid? They just want it to be like, oh, it's not just, anxiety. There is something to it. What should they look out for in the personality of a child or an adolescent who might be indeed using illicit substance?
Okay, so some of the symptoms are not standalone. Okay, they could be multiples together, and you want to look at them over time, and you want to have a conversation or check round. So you have changes in behavior. when you're seeing sudden and noticeable changes, mood swings, irritability, aggression, withdrawal from family members and friends, okay? Decline in academic performance, school grades are dropping, and there's increased absenteeism and tardiness. You just find out that they're not attending classes, they'll rather be somewhere else, you want to find out where they are being and all of that. Sometimes unexplained weight loss or weight gain in some cases, okay? Bloodshot eyes, frequent nosebleeds. This happens with guys. And your child is probably deteriorating in their personal grooming and hygiene. Okay, remember I said that this usually don't stand alone because some of these symptoms as well could be pointers to a mental health issue. Okay. Disinterest in hobbies and activities. Okay, they don't want to do what they used to do. Previously enjoyed activities just become boring. Extracurricular activities, they're no longer interested. Now they're engaging in secretive or deceptive behaviors. Start lying about whereabouts, hiding substances, what they didn't used to do before now. Change in sleeping patterns. You need to look out for this. Okay. It could be insomnia, it could be excessive sleeping, especially, for instance, after using depressants, okay? They could just go on sleeping for so long. Change in appetite, okay? Change in appetite. Then frequent loss of money. This is very important. Frequent loss of money, needing so much money, more than you think they should need. Okay, so when there's loss of money, loss of valuables, there's lots of prescribed medications in the house. Please don't overlook it, because prescribed medications could be misused or abused. Okay, now when they start withdrawing from family and friends and like spending time alone with a new group of friends, even if it's virtually or otherwise, very important. Okay. And they suddenly have financial problems. I think I said that earlier. They start requesting for money without clear explanation. You have a child in the university on the level and they're just asking for so much money. There's no clear explanation as to why they need the money. Okay. They have difficulty focusing, reduced attention span and memory problems. Okay. And they're neglecting household chores. Yes, we know that teenagers don't like doing household chores, but they're neglecting it. Okay. Because they're busy doing something else, neglecting schoolwork, and maybe work-related responsibilities, and frequent illnesses, complaints of certain symptoms without a cause. They just keep saying, "Oh, I have a headache." You've done everything. It could be pseudo illnesses or something, but you just really want to check. Okay, then discovering certain items in the house like pipes, rolling papers, needles among their belongings. Their pointers.
Wow.
So I'd just like to stop there. Yeah.
So, yes, I like the fact that you said, the last thing you said was noting these things amongst their belongings. Is it considered an invasion of privacy if you were to go through your child's belongings while they're away in your hopes of just, putting an end to your suspicion, more like gaining closure? Is it an invasion of privacy if I want to go through my child's belongings while they're away? Is it wrong? Okay. Should every parent try to do that from time to time?
This is your child.
True.
This is a minor.
Okay.
That you are responsible for. If this child commits a crime, you will not be excluded in the name of invasion of privacy or not being involved. You're still responsible for the care of this child. Okay. If this child is in danger, you'll be called upon. So if this child is doing something to hurt themselves silently, quietly, privately, you should be aware. Okay. Yes, I understand the place of, building certain relationship and rapport with your children. However, if you need to go that route, you are thinking again, whose benefits? Why are you doing this? If you need to check the child's things, for crying out loud, if you don't find anything, it becomes, why did you go through my things and all of that? But if you find something, the conversation will shift from, why are you going through my things, to, what are you doing with this? Okay, so it also depends on the relationship that you have. For instance, I know some homes have the no locking of doors policy.
Yeah,
so
true.
certain things you have, groomed, you've been able to groom your children into. Besides, if your child doesn't have anything to hide, it's your home as well. And I want to believe most of the things that they probably possess, you purchased it for them. Okay, so yes, there should be boundaries. But when there's a suspicious act, one thing you could want to do again is probably check it when they're there. But remember that a child who is currently using would probably hide, will probably even take them away and not even have them at home when they're not home.
All right. Thank you so much for this. So it's not like we're prying. I mean, every parent needs to know that it's not just their intuition, that there might be something there. Thank you for that. Now, for those who are thinking, right, they might not, some parents do not know how to approach this conversation, because we live in a society that if you're not saying it, more like if you don't reveal it, they will never know. Now, for some parents who might find it uncomfortable, do not know how to navigate as regards starting the conversation, trying to gain more understanding if their child might be indeed using substance or not, how can they start that conversation? Do they approach them calmly, sternly? How can they get them to open up and trust them and, let them know that, hey, I'm here to help you. This is some sort of intervention as opposed to interrogation. How would you advise parents to go about this?
Okay, it's usually better I started off early. However, if it wasn't started early, you could still use some of these tips. Like I said earlier on, communication, open communication, and empathy. Please, this is very, very important, okay? For instance, if the child has started using, please, this child has started using. You flogging, you talking sternly, you threatening, is only going to push this child further into it. It doesn't help the child to stop, okay? So, communication with openness and empathy, okay? You want to initiate a private conversation with the adolescent. You want to express your concern without judging. I know this is very difficult as parents, however, it's very critical, okay? You let them know what that you're there to listen to them and support them through it. You need to gather information. Learn about the signs, gather more information about signs and symptoms, because there's some symptoms your child will probably be exhibiting that you're not even aware that it's one, it's a pointer. In some cases, your child might be exhibiting certain symptoms that is not even substance use related. You want to gather information, you want to educate yourself. You want to know the resources available, what kind of treatment options are available for that child. Now, this is for people that their children have, started using. Then you want to use I statements. It's really important, because having worked with people that are dealing with substance use, for some years now, the way they perceive themselves and how others perceive them is really important to them. So you want to use I statement to express your feelings, to say that I feel this way, not that they made you or because of what they've done, you are not feeling this way. You want to encourage honesty. Let them know that it is crucial to be honest with you, and that way you're able to build trust. Please listen non-judgmentally. Don't judge these children. They've already gotten into it. Okay, the worst that can happen is for them to continue in the substance use. However, the best that can happen is to work with them on this journey, because the moment they become addicted, it's a journey for them to get out. Okay, they would always have to want to stay clean of those substances. Now, express your concern. As parents, it is very okay to express your concerns, especially when you have older teenagers and young adults. Share the specific concerns you have about their well-being and the consequences. Now, when you share your own concerns, it's not as if the user, especially for young adults, don't know that there are consequences. They do know there are consequences. But like for every addiction, they just feel like they're helpless. So you're helping them, sharing your own consequences, sharing your own concerns about it is also helping them to put themselves in your own shoes. Just a few more, you need to offer support to them. Please, that's not the time to start sharing their news and telling everybody.
Yeah.
You need to offer support. You need to offer support in helping them find and making positive change. They need to stay accountable to you while you also stay accountable to them. Because if they told you not to tell someone, especially if that person doesn't necessarily need to know, you shouldn't. Okay. Now, please encourage professional help. Yes, I understand that not everybody can go into a rehab, but there's NGOs that could help. You could have medical professionals that are friends in your inner circle that could assist you. You could go online. There are a lot of communities online that can help, and it could remain anonymous. Okay. You could be getting help on behalf of your child. And you need to set boundaries. Now, because that you're trying to build trust, you're trying to be your child's friend, you're trying to help them, doesn't mean you shouldn't set boundaries. You need to set boundaries about substance use, okay? And emphasizing your care and safety for their own safety and well-being. Because some could become manipulative, okay? Now, from a professional standpoint, it is advised that you don't do this alone. Okay, get another trusted adult, somebody else to assist. So, like I said, and you have to be patient finally. It takes a while. It's not immediate for you to just start seeing changes. And please celebrate every achievement. So let's just take an example. If the child is smoking 2 wraps a day, and now there's a change, there's a drop, and they start smoking 1 in 2 days, please, that's a big win. Celebrate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. More so for, just reminding us that every child who might be using illicit substance is not a lost case. There's always the hope for redemption. Thank you for also letting parents know they can walk through this with their child and they can, regain the child that they felt scared that they probably had lost. Now, for those who are listening, for parents who might want to get across to you right after the show and find out how they can indeed get closer to their kids and pay closer attention, how can they possibly do that?
Okay, you can send me an email at tobibello25@gmail. Or you could send me a WhatsApp message, emphasis on WhatsApp, 081 69 33 8430. I'll take that again. Email tobibello25@gmail.com and WhatsApp 081 69 33 8430.
And please, I would love if you do not mind sharing your social media handle as well, if you're on any of the platforms. I know you are, but I would rather just have, I know.
Yeah, Bello Toby 25.
Okay, that's on Facebook, Instagram?
No, that's on Instagram. For Facebook, you just find me with my full name, Oluwatobiloba Bello.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. It was amazing learning from you and just finding out how we can get closer to our kids and more so to keep them safe from the menace of substance abuse. But thank you. Thank you so much. And I wish you a beautiful weekend ahead, Miss Tobiloba. Thank you so much. Hopefully you can come back on the show soon, right?
It'll be a pleasure.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Okay, goodbye. All right, this is Parenting Today. Parenting Today is for everyone who wants to be a better parent. We all have our role to play as parents, not just provision, not just discipline. There's nurturing, there's love, there's discipline, there's bits and pieces of everything. Finding the balance is the most important thing, and that's why we have Parenting Today. Find out how you can be the best parent to the most of your, or rather best of your ability.